Okay, guys, here's a pop question for you. What is crime? You guys want to give me a definition? What's your definition of crime? I've got reverb. See, the problem with the world is people have redefined terms and they've made definitions of words for words that aren't really the true definitions. So when people think of crime, they think of, well, you broke a man-made law, and if you break a man-made law, then you should be punished, and that's how people think. If you've committed a crime and haven't left if you commit a crime in the minds of whoever you talk to, if they're status minded. Well, that was weird. This time I didn't even get a message. It just went off. My phone just blinked out. I'm fully charged. I got a good Wi-Fi connection. Am I back yet? I don't even know. Let's see. It is back? Okay, because I'm not back on this end. Okay, hold on a second. What is going on here? This is crazy.
You're not back on my end.
You got to refresh your screen. All right, guys. Sorry about that. The question is, what is crime? A lot of people understand crime to be, oh, you broke the law of a politician and therefore you need to be punished. But you don't have a victim. I mean, you don't have a be punished, but you don't have a victim. I mean, you don't have a crime if you don't have a victim. No victim, no crime. So that's our springboard for today. So the victim, no crime. So that's our springboard for today. So the takeaway of this video right here is a crime can only be a crime if you leave a victim. Period. It doesn't matter what people's opinions are. You haven't, like, back during Prohibition. I've talked about this a lot of times before. At 11:59, before Prohibition was enacted, you were fine to drink alcohol. You could have a bottle of whiskey. You could sell a bottle of whiskey. You could buy a bottle of whiskey. But at midnight, when the clock struck 12, you were a criminal in the eyes of the state if you did the very same activity that you did 60 seconds before. You didn't magically become a criminal because some man said so. See, crime has to be wrapped up into, is it moral or is it immoral? Did you leave a victim or did you not leave a victim? Drinking whiskey, selling whiskey, buying whiskey, and voluntary mutual interaction, consensual mutual interaction is not committing a crime. I don't care what a third party says. A crime can't be a crime just because Joe Schmo in Congress said it's a crime. So part of the one of the things I like about reading the founding fathers is they have so much wisdom, and all you have to do is read. Oh, my computer's running out of power here. Read what they say. You don't have to agree with everything they say. Test it against morality. Test it against time. Test it against your own experiences. But one of the things that I like is I think it was Samuel Adams who said that it's not the majority who will prevail, but the irate and tireless minority who are keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. And that those brush fires of freedom are brush fires of truth. If people get geared toward truth, and logic and reason, then they're not as likely to be swayed by emotion. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. All right, so I want to play this. I want to start off playing this, and a lot of people are like, why do you go over CNN? The greatest teacher you will ever have in your life is your last mistake. And the teacher that you can have better than that, where you don't have to go through that mistake, because experience, there's no replacement for experience, okay? That's why your greatest teacher will always be your last mistake. If you learn from your last mistake, then you grow in wisdom and you become a better, more knowledgeable, more logical, more truthful, maybe more empathetic person. But what if you could learn from somebody else's mistake? Like, that's why I like talking to old people. They'll kind of give you a treasure trove of wisdom. Sit down and talk to the elderly person and find out what experiences they've gone through. Find out what worked for them and what didn't work for them. And yeah, people are different, and regions are different, and times are different, and all that kind of stuff. But you can learn a lot from old people. You can extract a lot of wisdom, and you can find out what they experienced, what they experimented with, what failed, and kind of take some of that stuff onto yourself. One of the reasons I watch mainstream media and CNN is because you kind of learn from their mistakes. You can learn from somebody else's lie. You can learn from propaganda if you have the right mindset. The mindset's based on truth and logic and love and reason and basic human compassion. And really, the bottom line is morality. So when we talk about this realm of laws and crime and gun control laws, what you're really talking about is it right or is it wrong? Is it moral or is it immoral? Okay, so watch this. This is SE Cup from Unfiltered. They uploaded this thing yesterday. I want you to listen to what she says. This is pretty interesting.
It's been 1 week since 31 people were killed in mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. It's worth pointing out those two shootings followed another 1 week earlier in Gilroy, California, where 3 people, including a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old, were killed by an angry guy with a gun.
Now, the setup for this is, oh my God, people are dying and something must be done. We got to do something.
Amidst all this, many Americans are calling for more gun laws. Democrats have offered a wide array from
gun what? Laws. See, law. That's another term we need to redefine. A law isn't a law because some man said it is. See, laws can't be changed. They're infinite. They're good in all places at all times for all people, and you can't change them. They're indelible. So when you say, oh, they're lawmakers or the authorities say that this is the law that governs this, men cannot make laws. They can make opinions. They can express commands. They can write those opinions and commands down on pieces of paper and say you got to follow them. But you can't rightly call them a law. A law is a law, and a command or an opinion is a command or an opinion, and never the twain shall meet. So when we talk about gun control laws, even if I say law, I'm saying it loosely. I'm just saying what they say so that I can identify with them and they can understand what I'm saying. But it's kind of like gun so-called laws, gun control laws. And it's really not, that's another euphemism on top of the euphemism, because gun control is really people control. What they're trying to do is control people, not inanimate objects.
Universal background checks and raising the minimum age requirements, to suing gun manufacturers and banning assault-style weapons. Some Republican lawmakers
Another buzzword, assault style. What the hell is an assault style weapon?
have expressed an openness, but how sincere and serious they are remains to be seen. Now, for years, as you might know, I've gone on television and made the case for the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. I've pointed out that criminals don't follow gun laws, and I've defended the NRA and its members.
Okay, now I appreciate everything she just said except for defending the NRA. Defending the NRA or even the gun owners, we're not here to defend any organization. What we're here to defend is morality and reject immorality.
Law-abiding gun owners like me who have nothing to do with mass shootings or violent gun crimes. I've done that because I'm a gun owner and a gun rights advocate, and I believed it was true. But I am no longer an NRA member.
I believed it was true. Should she no longer believe? Listen, some of those things that she said, other than the NRA thing, everything she said was good.
On television and made the case for the Second Amendment, the right.
That's a good thing, the right to bear arms, yeah.
To bear arms. I've pointed out that criminals don't follow gun laws.
That's absolutely true.
And I've defended the NRA and its members.
Okay, we'll throw that out. By the way, the NRA is actually against the Second Amendment. As I've shown you many times before, Wayne LaPierre got up there and took credit for the existence of the NICS instant background check system, which is an infringement program. Any background check, any gun registration, any infringement on your right to keep and bear arms is just that. It's an infringement.
Fighting gun owners like me who have nothing to do with mass shootings or violent gun crimes.
That's true.
I've done that because I am a gun owner and a gun rights advocate, and I believed it was true.
Believed it was true.
But I am no longer an NRA member. Being right no longer feels righteous because in the wake...
Being right no longer feels righteous. Being right has nothing to do with feelings. Being righteous has nothing to do with feelings. Morality has nothing to do with feelings. Immorality has nothing to do with feelings. It's all about what's truth, what's logic, what's based on love and basic human compassion. And all these things that she said were good except for the NRA thing, but she put it in past tense. I believed all these things were true. What? So now you don't believe that you can make whatever law you want to. Criminals aren't going to obey laws. Now you don't believe that people have the right to keep and bear arms. That's basically what she's saying, and she's grouping it all under the umbrella of I used to be an NRA member. As a matter of fact, the name of the video is SC Cup. I am no longer an NRA member. So let's listen to the rest of what she says, because it actually, guys, stay tuned because it gets really ridiculous. As if it's not ridiculous enough already.
More mass shootings, acts of senseless violence that send innocent people running for their lives, leaving children, orphaned loved ones dead on the ground. We must do something about guns. We have a problem in this country, and that problem is hate.
Do you hear what she said? That there's the villainization and the anthropomorphizing of an inanimate object. We must do something about guns. Guns are the problem. That's why I keep playing that. Man, I wish I remembered what this senator's name was. Let's see. Shoot, he's from Florida. Dang, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But I'm just going to go and play it again because it's very germane to this conversation. Let's see. Where is it? Shoot, where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. Senator, dang, what's his name? Here, just you guys tell me, put it in the chat box. Listen.
When you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing.
They really believe that, guys. They really believe that the guns are what does the killing, and we got to do something about guns. It's more than like they're so brain dead they don't understand that it's not the gun that does the killing.
Leaving children, orphaned loved ones dead on the ground. We must do something about guns.
We must do something about guns. Who's that senator? Does anybody have the name of that senator? Nelson. Yeah, Nelson. We must do something about guns. Guns are what is going to do the killing.
We have a problem in this country, and that problem is hate. Tonight I'm going to spend most of...
Okay, so we got a gun problem and a hate problem, and the government's going to fix both problems, right? Because we know that's what the government does. They actually fix problems. Yeah. Speak to our $22 trillion debt for that, counting unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare. You're talking about 120 to $150 trillion in transgenerational debt slavery. And we need the government to fix the gun problem, the hate problem. We need the government who can't even keep drugs out of the prisons, let alone off our streets. We need them to step in and help us. Yeah, that's real smart. That's real smart.
We're talking about hate and what we can do about it, but one of the things we must do to begin to solve our hate problem is to put down our metaphorical weapons, our defenses, our special interests, and finally be honest about the role that guns play in this culture of hate in America.
The role guns play in this culture of hate in America. How about pencils? How about knives? How about the role knives play in this in America's culture? Knives killed more people than any long rifle did in 2016, 2017, and 2018. Far more. We're talking about people who died by knife, like 1,700, and people who died by all rifles combined, including the AR-15, the AK-47, any long rifle, around 400. So 1,700 to 400, but they're going to come against the guns. Why aren't they coming against the knives? If they really cared about people, if this is really about saving lives, wouldn't they be wanting to implement knife control? Wouldn't they be instituting knife bans? Yeah, you bet they would. But they have an agenda. They want to take power away from the people.
The honest, simple answer is, it is too easy for too many sick people to get their hands on guns.
And that sounds like such a good argument, doesn't it? We care about society so much. What we need to do is make sure that guns stay out of the hands of bad people. And so what we're going to do is institute a broad brush universal background check, red flag laws, extreme risk protection orders, the TAPS Act. We're going to raise the age of possession of a firearm to 21.
People with the kind of hate in their hearts as the El Paso and Dayton shooters, Sutherland Springs and Charleston church shooters.
Yeah, Sutherland Springs that was stopped by a guy with an AR-15. The murderer of that Sutherland Springs incident was killed, rightly so, by a non law enforcement agent, a private individual with the firearm that they're trying to ban.
Las Vegas, San Bernardino shooters, I can go on and on. They're not going to be cured of their hate by taking away their guns. But we also don't need to just hand them a killing device and 100 rounds of ammo and say, please don't do anything bad with these.
What a we're not handing any criminal any guns. People can do whatever they want to do. If they choose to pick up those guns to hurt other people, then people have the right to defend themselves and put down the threat.
A kid who shows videos of mass shootings on a first date, who was suspended from school for having a hit list and a rape list, should never have had access to a gun of any kind, period. Domestic abusers should never have access to a gun of any kind, period.
By the way, that's interesting that she said that. Guess what people group or occupation facilitates a 40% more likely increase in domestic violence? What occupation is that? What occupation facilitates a 40% more likelihood that you will be a domestic abuser? Guess what it is? Anyone? Cops, law enforcement agents. And yet they're the very ones that they want to keep weapons in the hands of. If this is true, what she said, then you would take firearms out of the hands of law enforcement.
People who make violent threats against individuals or groups of people should be taken
like politicians. They're always making violent threats. If you disobey our rules, if you disobey our commands, if you disobey our so-called laws, we will come against you by force, with force.
Dead seriously, investigated thoroughly, and ultimately maybe never have access to a gun of any kind, period. Our gun laws should make it harder, if not impossible, for people who hate to carry out their violent fantasies. And right now, our gun laws make it too damn easy. Universal background checks, gun violence restraining orders, raising the age of gun purchases to 21, banning 100-round drums, fixing our NICS system, investing in mental health inside our schools. These things cannot wait.
And what did she just say here? You know what the translation of that is, guys? We need infringement, 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 and it cannot wait. In other words, it's necessary. And necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. We need to do it. We need to do it. We need background checks. We need red flag laws. We need extreme risk protection orders. We need the TAPS Act, which is a pre-crime bill. You don't even have to have committed a crime. They just suspect that you might commit a crime sometime in the future because we say you might. Yeah, no opportunity for abuse there, right? No opportunity for abuse.
I am so sick and tired of participating in this predictable cycle of politics where a mass shooting happens, the left calls for new gun laws, some meaningful, some unproductive. The right yells slippery slope and hides behind the Constitution. Nothing happens.
Yeah, what a bad thing to hide behind the Constitution. What a bad thing to say, hey, this is a slippery slope. You open the door this much, you take an inch, you're going to end up taking a mile. Oh, it's just a bump stock ban. Oh, we just need your AR-15s. Oh, we just need you to turn in all your handguns. It just keeps on going. Oh, we just need to completely disarm the population. That way we'll all be safe.
Nothing changes. And with the next mass shooting, we do it all over again. Look, I love the Constitution, but it's still a document.
Actually, she just proved that she despises the Constitution, specifically the Second Amendment.
It's meant to protect human beings, real people, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, the pursuit of happiness. Like I'm 18. I want to protect. I live in a bad neighborhood. I want to protect myself. Oh wait, I can't get a gun because the politicians say I can't get one until I'm 21. What about my happiness? What about my life? What about my willingness to want to just live in safety with a firearm? No,
Happiness are
can't
we
have it.
protecting if our kids are afraid to go to school? What liberty are we protecting if we don't feel safe at the mall or walking down the street?
You want to feel safe in the mall or walking down the street? The best way to feel, you want to feel safe? Buy a handgun, learn how to use it, be very proficient in it, and then walk down the mall concealing. You're going to be so empowered, and you're going to feel really safe.
What lives are we protecting when we arm a 21-year-old white supremacist with 100 rounds of ammo only so he can go shoot up dozens of people at a Walmart, including a 2-month-old child?
Here comes the flood of emotions, guys. Watch this. Watch this.
Oh, I will be accused of letting my emotions get in the way of facts here. I've made that accusation before. But this is an emotional issue. How could it not be? In fact, it should be more emotional. And to my friends in the Republican Party, at the NRA, on the side of gun rights, if you're not emotional about this, join me, won't you? Let's start with emotion. There's a lot we can accomplish if we start as humans, not NRA lobbyists or gun control lobbyists, not special interest groups or politicians, but as humans, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, friends, colleagues, because we have everything to lose if we don't.
Okay, guys, what do you think? We got to start with emotion. When you start with emotion, you give away your rights. You don't start with emotion. You can never start with emotion. She literally fulfilled what I've always been saying, and this is I'm going to attribute this to Larkin Rose. If you want to check out Larkin Rose, he's got a channel called Larkin Rose. Tell him High Impact Flick sent you. Maybe we can get a live stream going with him. But politics is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, which she's trying to drive you toward, fear mongering, to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. And I would add, in the name of safety, government, please keep us safe. I'll go over the super chats in a second. The takeaway of all this, guys, is you never, ever, ever want to give up your freedoms. Never. And we got to call things what they are. So I just want to go over some things real quick. I just lost. Huh. What just happened there? Okay, so the reason I don't depend on the Constitution, guys, is because they can amend the Constitution. They can completely do away with the Constitution, specifically the Second Amendment. There are people out there right now actively lobbying to get rid of the Second Amendment. If they get rid of the Second Amendment, does that mean we don't have protection? We can't stand on the Second Amendment. We can't stand on the Constitution. What we have to do is stand on, is it right or is it wrong? Now, here's the irony and the grave hypocrisy of gun control laws. And I understand, guys. They believe gun control laws will save lives. I really believe that people believe that gun control laws save lives, but they do the exact opposite. First of all, gun control is not gun control, it's people control. You're abdicating your rights and giving them to politicians, and then you're putting them in the driver's seat and you're saying, hey, the almighty politicians know what's good for us. That's number one. Number two, all gun control laws that are supposed to stop gun violence actually promote mass gun violence. Because what the gun controllers are trying to say is we need to create a law that's going to make us more safe. Well, what kind of laws do we need to create? Okay, first of all, you can't have a gun until you're 21 years old. Wait a second. What if I'm 17? What if I'm 16? I trained my kids to proficiently handle a firearm when they were 10, 11, 12. Some of them were younger, and they knew how to do operate a firearm. Some of them they knew how to take apart and put together when they were little kids. It's all about how you train people. It's all about how you were raised. And just because one kid was raised to be a snowflake doesn't mean we need to lower the bar of snowflakery. Okay, so little Johnny's a snowflake, so we need to bring all of society down so that we can pander to Johnny and make him feel more comfortable and more stable in this life. No, that's not how life works. Life works, you have to come up to the strong. You don't want to come down to the weak. Nobody gets out of bed this morning and goes, man, I sure hope my body is weaker today. I sure hope my mind atrophies today and I know less today than I did yesterday. Well, okay, so people are scared, okay? And we don't want to get people scared. That's why those cops made a serious mistake in Missouri the other day. They called and said, we got an active shooter scenario. There wasn't an active shooter. The guy never touched his gun, let alone pulled out his gun and brandished it. The cops should have gone, okay, so what's the situation? This guy walked into Walmart with a gun. You do realize that Missouri state law protects that. That's an activity that we protect by our own laws. Why would I throw this guy in a cop car, handcuff him, kidnap him, throw him in a cage because he's doing something lawful? And I'm using lawful in quotes, but according to their own law, he did nothing wrong. So what did the cops do? They came down to the level of those who were fearful instead of instructing the fearful and go, hey guys, he's not doing anything wrong. But because the cops and society wants to pander to all these people right here and come down to snowflakery, come down to weakness, come down to the atrophy of the mind, water down terminology like crime and law and politicians and gun control and all these euphemisms they use, instead of coming down, we need to raise the standard. And that's why I like what Samuel Adams said. It's not the majority who will prevail. It's the irate and tireless minority who are keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. It's all up here, guys. The only reason government can exist is because it's in our minds. It's that brain matter between our ears that says, no, I think that person right over there has a higher claim over my life and property than me, so I'm just going to submit to him. Here's my guns. Here's my money. Here's whatever you want. And that's the problem with society is we keep compromising. Okay, I'll just compromise. Just this once. Okay, red flag law, bump stock bans. Okay, I'm just okay. Bump stock. I've never used a bump stock, so I'm more than willing to give away the bump stock. And that standard that should be up here is now down here. Red flag laws. Let's see. Red flag laws, extreme risk protection orders. Yes, if somebody's a threat to themselves and to society, I think that we need to institute the red flag laws. You know what? Red flag laws is a euphemism also. It's gun confiscation laws. Without charge, trial, or due process of law, they're going to come in, they're going to violate your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects, and then they're going to trample on your Second Amendment right by taking your guns. That's your property. It's not anybody else's property. So while I understand that people who believe in gun laws believe that they're saving lives, what they're actually doing is promoting a more systemic gun violence. Because what they're saying is, okay, so you have to be 21 to purchase a firearm. If you're not 21 and you purchase a firearm and we catch you, guess what? We're going to initiate violence against you. Oh yeah, how are you going to do that? Oh, by the barrel of a gun. So gun control. Let me see. I always forget what I titled my. The shocking truth, what anti-gunners are really calling for. This is why I titled it this way. I should have written this down. What anti-gunners are calling for when they say, I want gun control laws, I want red flag laws, I want extreme risk protection orders, I want the TAPS Act, I want universal background checks. What they're really saying is, I want to implement force and violence of peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong, and I want to do it at the barrel of a gun. Because at the end of the day, if you continue to disobey the politicians' laws and do what they told you not to do, I'm 17, I'm going to carry a weapon. If they catch you with that weapon at 17, you haven't done anything wrong. You're just carrying around a weapon so you can protect yourself. Maybe you're walking around the streets of Chicago. Maybe you're walking around and dodging rats in the streets of Baltimore. Yeah, there are rats in Baltimore. If the cops catch you and you went against their laws, you are counted by them as a criminal when you haven't harmed or threatened to harm or stolen anybody else's property. You're actually called a criminal for wanting to protect yourself. So the anti-gunners, what they're calling for is gun violence. And I'm using that term loosely too. There's no such thing as inanimate object violence, paper violence, pen violence. No, but when somebody stabbed somebody with a knife, they weren't the subjects of knife violence. You know, they have to euphemize these things so that they can take away the object that they want to take away, which doesn't amount to just taking away the object. It amounts grabbing you by the throat and controlling you. That's why it's called gun control. They're wanting to control something, but it's not the gun. It's not the inanimate object they're controlling. They're controlling people. So the bottom line to this video right here is gun control laws initiate and institute real systemic gun violence. A gun violence so widespread that wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for politicians. You're gonna be much safer if we could press the reset button and get rid of all of our laws, every single law, EPA laws, even drinking water laws, gun laws, all these legislation, all these restrictions, even on like cigarette laws. You can't buy cigarettes until you're 18 or whatever. If we were to press the reset button and get rid of all the laws, we would literally eradicate all the threats of violence, because that is what, yeah, bagel law. That's what a law is. Every law is a command of men. It's the opinion of mere men backed by the threat of force, and that force takes the form of quote unquote gun violence. Listen to me, anti-gunners. Listen to me. I want you to understand something. I understand that you're scared. I understand that you want to keep guns out of the hands of bad people. I do too. But going the political route, going the legalese route, going the gun control route, and broad brushing everybody as a criminal if they break those laws is not the way to do it. Please share this video with every anti-gunner you know, because I'm really trying to reach out to them as well. I'm not trying to make fun of you guys. I'm just telling you your standard for society, guys, is down here if you're an anti-gunner. And you're being an immoral hypocrite. All laws are immoral. And the reason they're immoral is because they're based on the threats of force and violence. Men with guns will come in and make sure the politicians' laws are upheld. So when you're down here in a cesspool of snowflakiness and you want to bring us all down into the pit with you, that's bad juju for society. It's very, very bad. All gun control laws are immoral. Think about this. All you pro women out there, all you people who march for women's rights, do you know what you're actually saying with these gun control laws? I want to disempower women. I don't want a woman who's 18 or 19 or, for God's sake, 20 years old to be able to possess a weapon. You know how many women are going to die because of this stupid gun control law? You know how many weak elderly people are going to die because they're going to obey these gun control laws? See, that's why I have a serious problem with law abiders. Law abiders die in gun-free zones. The people who die in gun-free zones are the ones who obeyed the stinking sign. The people who usually make it out scot-free unless the cops show up on time and kill them are the criminals, because they have a stress-free work environment. That gun-free zone is a welcome mat to them. That's a criminal empowerment zone. That's fish in a barrel zone, man. You're just sitting there like a dead duck. People are like, don't you want common sense gun regulation? You know what they're actually saying? Don't you want common sense gun violence? When I hear gun control law, all I hear is gun violence. We need to institute nationwide gun violence. If you disobey our politicians' commands, we reserve the right to initiate violence against you peaceful people. I know you haven't done anything wrong, but you did disobey our politicians. So men with guns are going to come to your house. And I know I keep saying this, but I want to drive it home. Gun control is gun violence. It empowers criminals. It disempowers women. It disempowers the weak. It disempowers the elderly. It disempowers that college student who had a late class and she's walking around campus. She's 17 years old and she's trying to make it back to her dorm room. And oh my gosh, she can't have a gun because the politician said so, and she gets raped or she gets murdered. And she could have protected herself. But you freaking politicians, you got blood on your hands. I know you don't care. I know you're not listening to me. Guys, please share this video. Please, yeah, it's a Glock 22, 40 cal Glock 22, non-FMJs. Non-FMJ. Oh, by the way, this is not a clip. It's a magazine. You guys know what a clip is? A clip actually holds the bullets, and I don't know if there's a clip that loads this magazine, but there are clips that load magazines, and you take the clip and you press them down. It makes it easier to load a magazine instead of just doing it one at a time. So magazine, and I don't have a clip, but that would be a clip. A clip is not a magazine, and a magazine is not a clip. Yeah, it's a Glock 22 40 cal. Love this. This is such a reliable weapon. If you ever get a Glock, I mean, Glocks are good. I like Springfields. I like Smith and Wessons. They're good. I mean, every gun has its cool characteristics. But okay, guys, I'm going to try to keep this short. Let me go over some. I'm going to cover a couple other things. Let me do some super chats real quick. You carry your 1911? Yeah, 1911s are so nice, man. Oh, there's this 45 I shot one time. It was really heavy, and the recoil was surprisingly light. It was a light recoil. Really good gun. Matter of fact, one of the best guns I've ever owned as far as accuracy, I mean, not super accurate, but it was a subcompact Springfield XDM. It was really good. Okay, the Angry Republican says, let me know if you need help getting OBS set up. I can help. I need your help. I will be contact at highimpactflix.com. Send me an email because I'll forget. But I definitely need help setting up OBS because it keeps saying that it's not enabled for streaming, and obviously I'm enabled for streaming. I'm streaming right now, so it's crazy. Thanks, the Angry Republican for the shout out and for the offer of help and for the super chat. Stay Real TV, thanks for the super chat. Meta Truth, good to see you again. They will use your own money to buy back your guns. Yeah, that's another farce about the gun confiscation. They wrap confiscation into the buyback program, and they say it's voluntary, but it's really mandatory. Thanks, Meta Truth. Las Vegas drones, pay attention to the legalization of cannabis. Pay attention to the legalization of cannabis. You know, there's a catch there because in my state, if you get a medical marijuana card, then you have to give up your gun rights. There's this trade-off. I don't know if they've changed the legislation, but that's the way they used to be. Yeah, Glocks are solid. You could drop this thing in a mud puddle, man, and just start firing. I know a lot of guns are like that too. Wasabi Ninja, what's up, Wasabi Ninja? The quote law is an agreement, a contract within the four corners of a piece of paper. For it to apply, you have to, the pen is mightier than the gun. Yeah, and that's what we talked about the other day. The pens of politicians have killed way more people. I mean, like it's not even in the same hemisphere. It's not even in the same universe. The pens of politicians have killed way more than any firearm, any more than any nuclear device. As a matter of fact, the nuclear devices were launched because of the pens of politicians. And I know I've seen people go, "Well, nukes are fake." I don't know. I don't know. They look real to me. And if what they say is true, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a lot of people died like that. But that was initiated by the pens of politicians. Wars are initiated by the pens of politicians, fueled by the bankers. Fueled by I don't have my wallet on my desk, but fueled by the Federal Reserve banking cartel, the fiat currency money scheme. The dishonest money creates scenarios where we actually get into war situations where a lot of people are killed, a lot of injustice is done. And there's another euphemism for you. War. War is a euphemism for legalized, sanctioned mass murder. Remember when Albright, Secretary of State under Clinton, she was sitting down with that 2020 chick, and the 2020 chick said, you know, we've heard that these sanctions against Iraq have cost the lives of 500,000 children, just children, kids, little kids. 500,000 kids died, Madeline. What do you have to say about that? She says, well, it was a hard decision, but we think it was worth it. It was worth killing 500,000 kids to do what the United States baby killing factory wanted to do under Clinton. Secretary of State Albright, Secretary of the State of the United States said it was worth killing 500,000 children. Tell me that's not psychopathy. Tell me that's not government insanity gone wild. So the takeaway from this, guys, is crime is not breaking a man-made law. Crime is leaving a real victim. Crime is stealing from somebody. Crime is harming somebody. Crime is going against anybody without their consent. And that's exactly why I call politicians criminals, because they enact laws against the consent of the people and they leave very real victims. You're going to tell me that a 16 or 17-year-old kid who can handle a firearm but is barred access by the politicians, who walks across that campus and gets raped or gets pulled over in traffic thinking it was a cop and somebody pulls her out of the car and rapes her and then slits her throat and throws her in the field when she could have defended herself with a little subcompact Springfield, barring her access, and then she's scared to actually have a gun the whole time. I'm sure there's 17 and 18-year-olds who are cognizant and going, you know what, I'm going to disobey this law and I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. If I get pulled over and they search me and they find that I am 17 and I have a weapon, and because I've gone against the politicians, now I become a criminal in the system. You're going to tell me that's fair, guys, you anti-gunners? Is it really fair for you to create criminals because you just think, hey, that's how we keep guns out of the hands of bad people? That's just what we do. We just broad brush everything and we want to take guns away from people because we think that's going to keep society safe. It's not. Look at London. You removed all the guns there. Now you got to remove knives because the crime shot up like crazy because old people and women and the weak can't defend themselves with a firearm. You've created a field day for, man, if I was a criminal, I'd be watching CNN, I'd be watching mainstream media, I'd be turning on C-SPAN and watching what they're doing in Congress. And if they make a law in a certain region, I'm moving there because, man, I've got easy pickings. All those fish in the barrel, the congressmen and the senators are all setting it up just for me. It's like they're talking straight to me. It's like they're operating from my own criminal playbook. When you're a criminal, your best friends are politicians, because the more laws they make, the less free other people are, and it increases the power of the criminal because they don't give a damn what the criminals write. But law abiders, I mean, they don't give a damn what they are criminals anyway. Criminals don't give a damn what the politicians write in Congress. They're not going to obey them. They're not going to obey them. And S.E. Cupp even said that. She said, I know that criminals don't obey laws. I used to believe that. What? So now you believe criminals obey laws? Insane, bizarro world, man. I saw another super chat come through. Let's see. Oh, a couple super chats. Okay, let's deal with a couple more super chats. Jared Pierce says red flag laws plus socialist definition, legal disarmament of anyone that disagrees with a Democrat. Yeah, or a Republican. See, we got to get out of that. I agree, Jared, but you got to throw a Republican in there too. Trump is pushing for red flag laws, guys, and I am astonished, kind of, but because I understand the power of the cult of personality. I understand when somebody's going to sidestep morality and go for this guy. Oh, this guy's awesome. Do you know how many people still think Hillary Clinton is awesome and will pay $150 to watch her and Bill speak? That's how powerful the cult of personality is. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Bill and Hillary Clinton, Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon. They all got their groupies, and so does Donald Trump. And if you turn your minds off and it goes, well, the bump stop ban, I know that kind of hurts. He said he wouldn't go against the Second Amendment, but I don't really use bump stocks, never even heard them until they came on the news, so that's okay. Red flag laws, geez, I wish he wouldn't do that, but I still support Trump 2020, Trump 2020. You know what you're saying? Get rid of the Second Amendment 2020, infringement 2020. If he institutes red flag laws, and I'll watch the numbers plummet right now. It's down to 599. I've already lost like 110 people, unless it's because I'm freezing again. But you cannot support a person who supports infringement, because infringement equals enslavement. If you take away freedoms, the antithesis of freedom is slavery. If you support red flag laws, you support and are demanding the chains of your own enslavement. I don't give a damn about Trump, but I do give a damn about what Trump's trying to institute, because it's going to affect me. It's going to affect my family, my loved ones, all you guys who I appreciate out there in the community. This is going to directly affect you, because a red flag law is a confiscation order. Just look at it like it really is. It's a Nazi a confiscation order. We have the right, we reserve for ourselves the right to take your firearms. That's what the red flag law is. And to even entertain that, to even entertain background checks is to entertain enslaving you even more than you already are. Think about that. Are you really for Trump that much? He's actually doing things that Drone Obama didn't do. I call him Barack Obama because he was noted for being one of the most bombing presidents. He bombed more than George W. did. And now Trump's on course to bomb more than Obama did, but nobody's talking about that. And he wants to take your guns. And he's for civil asset forfeiture. And he lays cover for the IRS. And he's in with the Zionist international banking cartel, even though he criticizes the Federal Reserve more than any other president. It's not substantial. Where's Trump going, okay, where's the $9 trillion you lost here? Remember Alan Grayson just putting him on blast? I'm not for Alan Grayson either, but he said some things that were true and he put the Federal Reserve on blast. He had the Federal Reserve chairman on there saying, where did the $2 trillion go? He had the Federal Reserve spokesman for the Federal Reserve, where the $9 trillion go? We have no idea how much money is being lost because we put the fox in control of the hen house, and no president's going to talk about it. No politician's going to talk about it. Hey, we need to implement gun control laws. Hey, how about we get rid of domestic terror? You want to get rid of domestic terror? Start with the biggest domestic terror cell known to mankind, the IRS. The IRS is a constant gun pointed directly at you saying, give me your money or you are going to jail. And if you don't let us take your money, you're a tax evader. You don't want to be a tax evader, do ya? And it's all convoluted. They call us criminals because we want to keep 100% of our income. That's how bad this life has gotten, man. I don't want to lose America. I don't want to lose the freedoms that we have. But we used to be on the freedom scale here. Now we're way down here. I want to not just not lose freedom. I want to gain back the freedoms that we had. I want an honest money system so we can stop the banker wars. I want to get the IRS off yours and my back. What's wrong with that? I want to keep 100% of my income. How can that be bad? How can that be wrong? How can that be immoral? Okay, so Jared Pierce, thanks for the super chat. Rowdy Route, high impact gun skin would be cool indeed. That would be so cool. Yeah, just put the logo on the outside. What's that called? It's when you dip it in and it puts the graphic on there. That's pretty cool. Liquid graphic or whatever it is. 563 watching 104. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. Yeah, 563 watching 184 likes. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, yeah, hit the like button, guys. I really appreciate it. It really does go a long way when you hit the like button. And when you share these videos, it gives it an opportunity to trend higher because they're never going to trend this kind of video. So when the likes go up and the shares go up, if we can get this kind of information into I really do want to reach out. I love anti-gunners. I hate what they're trying to do to us, but I want to get through to them. I want to convert them to logic. I want to convert them to reason. I want to convert them to real human compassion and understanding what's going on and the fact that gun control laws are people control laws. Gun control laws in and of themselves are immoral. Gun control laws are actually the gun violence that they say they're against. And I'm using gun violence because that's their term. We know it's not gun violence. It's violence against people. It's people against people. Okay, so Rowdy Route, thanks for the super chat. I'll go over some more of these. Pale Rider Bear says, I wonder if there is a coincidence that the rapid erosion of individual liberty and expansion of nonsense laws like gun control laws, welfare state, huge debt, markedly shot up in the U.S. after the 19th Amendment, emotional politics. I don't think I think it's a direct corollary because here's the correlation, man. And thanks Pale Rider Bear for the super chat. I really appreciate it, you guys. All these super chats are super humbling, guys, and I'm gonna pour it back into the channel so that I can increase the channel, do some things with the website because I don't really see my channel lasting very much longer on this platform because I am going to talk about these issues. I want to expose these issues. I want to make America a better place. But you know, the Silicon Valley giants, the gatekeepers over there in Sanford shithole, they want to, by the way, I have a shirt called Sanford shithole. If you want to check it out, the link's in the description. But they want to take away our rights, which is a transfer of power. They want to increase power for themselves. They want to increase monetary benefits for themselves. And they don't care about us. We're ants to them. We're little grasshoppers. They'll just step on us. They do it all the time. They'll sacrifice our sons and daughters to war. They'll create a welfare state and actually impoverish more people through that welfare state. They don't care. They don't care about us. If you think for a second that politicians care about us, you're living in a world of delusion. But yeah, it's not a coincidence, a direct correlation. The less moral a society is, the less free of a society is. You can even see it with the left versus right paradigm. I will give the Republicans this. I will give the conservatives this. They are more apt to appear rationally minded and less with the emotion. That's why I want to appeal to Republicans too, because there are a lot of Republicans, if their statistics are right, they're saying 84 to 90% of all Americans want background checks. I haven't substantiated those statistics, but if that's right, that's a whole bunch of Republicans and Democrats. It's not just coming up from the Democrat side. There's a whole bunch of people who want to infringe on your rights. They want to create a barrier, and that's what an infringement is. If you have a background check, like here's access to weapons. Here's access to weapons, and here's you. Background check goes floop. We're going to put an infringement in there so you can't reach out your hand to get that life-saving firearm. And that's what it is. This is these save lives. Can they be used to take lives? Yes, but it's a tool used to save lives. You know, according to the CDC, I have substantiated these numbers. This is from the CDC, okay? Guns are used 500,000 to 3 million times every year to save lives. And how many lives are they saying are taken by guns? The numbers like 36 to 40,000, and 22 to 26,000 of those are suicides. So these are used to save way more lives than they are used to take lives. So when you're advocating gun control, you're advocating death, not life. Look at and I do not like going by statistics, guys. For me, it's morality or immorality, but that tells a lot. So the reason I don't go on statistics, what if the statistic was these are used to take more lives than they are to save more lives? Well, I still want to be free. I still want dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. I still would rather die on my feet than live begging and groveling for the crumbs of my masters on my knees. Wouldn't you? This is all about freedom. If you've got no freedom, if you've got restricted freedom, you've got nothing. You don't have safety and security. You've got nothing. So that's what an infringement is. It bars you access, ever so light or ever so heavy. It bars access to a life-saving device, a device that could literally save that 17 or 18-year-old female college student's life, a device that could save that scared grandmother who's about to be invaded by 7 armed attackers, and she's shivering in her closet trying to do her best to work her fingers to dial 911. Think about it. Think about her and she's a law abider. She just wants to do right. She's been brainwashed into believing she's doing right if she obeys the politicians, right? It's wrong. It puts people in a victim mentality. So our standard for when morality is low, freedom is low. When morality is high, freedom is high. So immorality, so you asked if it was a coincidence. It's no coincidence. It's a correlation. It's a real correlation. Low morality or immorality, slavery. High morality, freedom, knowledge, justice, righteousness, compassion, love. Immorality, no love, no compassion, no justice. Immorality, immoral actions, high levels of law. Morality, little law. Immorality, tons of laws. If you get rid of laws in this country, you're gonna shove a whole lot of immorality overboard. If you disagree with me, I'd like to hear your argument based on logic, truth, reason, and morality. The golden rule: do to others what you would want done to you. Conversely, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. Do you want somebody to force you to do something against your consent? No. Then don't you do it. But that's what politicians do all day. What are you doing today, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Oh, I'm like writing a law, like, so that I can make like the world safer. Like, oh, you are? And then when she puts her pen to that paper and they okay that bill and it goes through all the legislative mumbo jumbo and magic, you just created more slaves. A whole country of slaves. Thanks, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Thanks, Nazi Pelosi. Thanks, Diane Frankenstein. Thanks, Ted Cruz. Thanks, Mitch McConnell. Thank you guys for making those laws. People are like, we got to do something. Congress has to come off of vacation and they got to come back and they got to do something. Like I said in the video the other day, the best thing, if they're gonna steal from us anyway, if they're going to extort from us anyway, to the tune of $174,000 a year for every base congressman, that's the base pay, plus perks and benefits and all that garbage, per diem. And it kills me. If we're going to, before I go into this next thing, if we're going to pay them anyway, I'd rather pay them. Actually, we're not paying them. If we're going to be stolen from and that plunder is going to go to them anyway, I would rather them do nothing, because the more they do, the less free we are. The more they do, the less money we'll have at the end of the day. The more they do, the more wars we get in. The more they do, the higher the debt load. Have you ever wondered when they close down, when they shut down government, they call it, what are those non-essential employees? If you don't run businesses like that, how many employees you got? Oh, about 100 of them, but 73 of them are non-essential. Then why are they on the payroll? If they're not necessary, why do you have them? See, government doesn't have to answer to anybody, though. That's why Bastiat said government is that great fiction by which everyone seeks to live at the expense of everyone else, and ain't that the truth? Non-essential government employees. Oh God, man. All right, more super chats here. So thanks, Pale Rider Bear. No, it's not a coincidence. It's a corollary. There's a direct corollary between immorality and slavery, or morality and freedom. Direct correlation. That was Pale Rider. Okay. Oh man, you guys, thank you for the super chats. I'm gonna hang out. Do you mind thumbs up if you want to keep hanging out? I got more things to say and I got more super chats to read. And I want to acknowledge you guys. I really appreciate you sending the super chats in. That was Pale Rider Bear. Iron Man Metal. Hey, what's up? Iron Man Metal. You changed your icon, I think. Are you the guy? Are you from Australia? Oh, you're in PA. Iron Man Metal says there's another Iron Man that is from Australia. Same in PA, marijuana card, no guns. Yeah. It's like the most beneficial. I can't even think of. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. The most beneficial plant on the planet. I can't even think of a more beneficial plant. Maybe aloe, or I don't know, but it's cannabis. There's so many uses for cannabis. It's medicinal. I've seen cannabis really change people's lives. But what do politicians do? They enact laws of violence to bar you from, okay, so here's a life-saving, let's say this right here is a life-saving plant, and here comes the life-saving plant. Oh, this is great. Oh man, I'm getting better. Politicians commands, phew, I can't get to my life-saving plant anymore. And if I reach around the law, oh my God, now I'm a criminal for doing something that's making me feel better. That's the violence of politics. And then if you reach around the law and you become that criminal in the eyes of the state and get that life-saving plant matter, that's all it is a plant. You can't have this plant, young Johnny. And if you do reach out your hand to get that plant, guess what? There's gonna be a gun waiting for you. But politicians are against gun violence. Did you pick up that plant? Politicians love you and they only want the best for you. Hey, did you buy that vodka back in the 1920s during Prohibition, boy? Sometimes I'm beside myself because I think of all the insanity that we allow ourselves, and we have allowed ourselves to succumb. Just we've succumbed to compromise, and it's crazy, and it gets crazier. Same in PA. So thank you, Iron Man Metal. The fall of home. Thanks for the super chat. These NPCs, by the way, if you don't know what an NPC is, it's a non-playable character. It's those memes with the slit eyes, and it kind of it just makes you're basically a zombie like everybody else. You're a non-playable character. The NPCs don't care enough about school shootings to keep their kids out of public school. That's another good point. The fall of home, that is an awesome point. I'm going to start it over again. The NPCs don't care enough about school shootings to keep their kids out of public school. They don't care who has guns. They care who has power. Amen and amen. The public. Okay, so here it is. You're a family of, let's say you're a family of four. There's a husband, wife, and two kids. And you send your two kids off to school, and there's all these shootings all over the place. What is the normal response for people who take responsibility for their own actions? It's, holy crap, I can't depend on. Besides that, what's a law? A law is not, something written on a piece of paper is not going to keep somebody from walking into the school and shooting your kid. You know what is going to keep your kid from being shot, or at least give them a likelihood of not being shot? Is there's another alternative called home education, homeschooling. Now, I'm not condemning you if you're in a situation right now where you have your kid in public school, but think about it. If public schools are a dangerous place to put your kid, why would you have your kid go to public schools? Besides that, it's not a public school, it's a public indoctrination program. After 15,000 hours, which is about what it amounts to for a 12-year public education plan, you're being indoctrinated to be an order follower of the authoritarians. Yes, sir. No, sir. Respect the police. Respect politicians. Do what you're told. Be a good law abider. Be a good little citizen and be on your way. Be a good little a worker bee for hive so that they can extract your income, little Johnny. We're not going to tell you about the Federal Reserve. We're not going to tell you the creation of the dishonest money system. We're not going to tell you about the petrodollar. We're not going to tell you that most of these wars were started by false flags, from Pearl Harbor to the Korean War to the Vietnam War and the Gulf of Tonkin incident. We're not going to tell you about the USS Liberty being bombed by our enemy, Israel. Our enemy, Israel. Not our friend, not our ally. Your allies don't steal $10.2 million a year from you, by the way. That's how much we're giving. That's how much taxpayers are being extorted for, the tune of $10.2 million a day just going to Israel. Just write that one. Netanyahu, you need a check? How much you need today? Oh, $10.2 million? Done. Off the backs of our, doesn't even hardly come off our backs anymore. It's transgenerational debt slavery. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to enslave your great grandchildren. Yeah, and generations after them. Okay, here you go. Netanyahu. There you go. $10.2 million a day. Almost it's up to $60 million a day for NASA. We're giving $60 million a day to NASA. 10.2. It's actually more than 10.2 to Israel. That's just on the books. That's what we're giving on the books. Not to mention all the other foreign aid. Why? Because we're not in debt. Families that are in debt don't give away money to their neighbors. If you don't operate a household like that, you don't operate a business like that, but you can operate government like that. Can somebody explain that to me, please? God, man. These NPCs don't care enough about school shootings to keep their kids out. Yeah, they don't care. They don't want to modify and change their lives, but they want everybody else to change their lives for them. That's what I was talking about the snowflakey cesspool. It's like, here, come on down to the snowflakey cesspool. The water's fine. This is great. Come on. We need politicians to create gun laws so that we can keep our kids safe. And there's no consideration of, hell no, I'm not putting my kid. Truant, yeah, he's still alive, right? Yeah, screw that. Truant, I'll go to another state. That's why I moved from California to Oklahoma, by the way. The catalyst for me moving was there was some San Francisco judge in 2007 that just carte blanche declared homeschooling to be illegal. It was later overturned, but we're like, we're not sticking around here. Ain't no way I'm sticking my kids in public school. Ain't no way in hell. A possible assault on their bodies and getting killed from the outside and then having your brain matter destroyed by a public education system and indoctrination system. No thanks. We're out of here. Goodbye. Pick up, leave, sell everything you can. If you really love, that's just what you do. That's just what you do. We did a Google search, and the freest state in the union was Oklahoma, and the freest county was Cherokee County at the time. Now, not so much, but still, we have embedded in the Oklahoma Constitution, quote, other means of education. So homeschooling is actually a state constitutionally protected activity. That's pretty cool. Am I for laws? No, but I'm just saying there's a layer of protection there that even the authorities recognize. It was their law. It's like if you can leverage their laws against them, and often it's to show them how hypocritical they are. Hey, why not use it? Why not pull that card? Alan Powell. So thanks, Fall of Home. That was a great comment, and thanks for the super chat. Alan Powell says criminals obey laws just like government employees uphold their oaths to the Constitution. Exactly. Matter of fact, that's probably going to be my next tweet, Alan Powell. I'll give you credit for that, man. Yeah, exactly. Criminals obey laws just like government employees uphold their oaths to the Constitution. That is an excellent post. Thanks for the super chat. Rowdy Route says, we support you. What if you were president now? Well, I wouldn't be, but like if we were just to go with the hypothetical, I would fulfill all my promises. If you were the leader of the free world and on the campaign trail you made all these promises, how is it that a man can attain the position of commander in chief, leader of the free world? It's like, you know what? They call me leader of the free world. Why don't I just act like it? I mean, is there anybody greater than me? Anyone? No, I'm the greatest. Okay, I'm the greatest. So here's what we're going to do. I'm the leader of the free world. So I'm going to obey the Constitution that I told you I would obey. And part of that Constitution is shall not be infringed. So I am now making an executive order, and I'm not for tyranny or anything like that, but this would be a good executive order. So I'm going to make an executive order. I hereby strike down every single frickin' gun control law. And we are not going to edit the Federal Reserve because we know they've already absconded with trillions and trillions of dollars. So I am right now going to enact some kind of scenario where we can smoothly transition from fiat currency to honest money, and we're ending all wars. Oh, the third thing I'm doing is I'm bringing all of our troops home. You know, I'm not for this military intervention, and we're not going to empire build anymore starting right now. I'm not bringing them out gradually. They have a week for everyone to come back. All our military bases sold to the highest bidder. Done. Hey, Vice President, is cannabis still illegal? Oh, okay, that's the fourth thing I'm going to do. Okay, now we are not barring access to any plant, and any person who's been unjustly imprisoned for no violent crimes at all, they're free. Period. They didn't hurt anybody. They didn't threaten to harm anybody. Oh, no. Okay, so now the fifth thing I'm going to do is I'm turning my guns on Congress, my metaphorical guns. We are going to have a public hearing that will be televised by C-SPAN. We're going to bring all 535 out. We're going to review their records. If on any point they went against any one of the 10 amendments, they're not only gone, but they're going to pay a fine, and there's probably jail time. I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see what's going on there. So that's what I would do if I was president. Why not take advantage of your position? I wouldn't go, no, being the president is absolutely immoral. No, I would use that position. I would do the best I could. I would probably get some of you guys for armed security because I'm sure that there would be a hit. There'd be a hit sometime soon. I tell you what, I would never fly on Air Force One. You know how much it costs to keep that thing in the air for an hour? Okay, here's a question for you guys. How much does it cost to keep for everything to keep Air Force One in the air for 1 hour? Anybody know? Let's see. Anybody get a guess? How much does it cost to keep in dollars, in American dollars, in fiat current? No, it's not that high. It's not 6 million an hour. It's not 10,000. It's not 800,000. 10 million. No. 130,000 is close. 186,000 as of 2018. It costs $186,000 an hour to keep Air Force One in the air. $186,000 an hour, guys. That's off the charts insane. And not only that, what I was going to say a second ago is all these 535 people in Congress who are so against, we got to do something about global warming and climate change, and we need to institute the Green New Deal. It's like they're Otis the Drunk's going, okay, it's only going to cost us, I mean, just stay with me. Stay with me for a second. It's only going to cost $93 trillion. Now, I know we don't have the money, but it's gonna work. So, and now don't laugh at me. One of the things that we have to do is get rid of cow farts. Cow farts is flatulence, and then we have to tear down all of our buildings and then rebuild them because we'll have the extra cash. Yeah, 90. Don't trip over the $93 trillion. And then here's AOC she does. It's not even a Sasquatch carbon footprint. It's like a T-Rex carbon footprint compared to my aunt carbon footprint. And she's gonna tell me that I and we need to get together and do something and get on board with the Green New Deal when she's jet setting across the world. She's going to Washington and she's going here and she's speaking there and they're going here. And Ilhan Omar is going to go to the Middle East. And oh gosh, it's just so great. Oh, look at all the carbon emissions. Hey, don't pay attention to my carbon emissions. Let's talk about your carbon emissions. Let's talk about what you have to give up while we're extracting money from you, $174,000 a year. Insanity. Bizarre world. Bizarre. Okay. Rowdy Route, thank you. Let's see, did I skip anybody? Oh, that was the president. What if you're president right now? Yeah, there's so many things, man. I'd have to write a list. Maybe I did a video on it before, but I'll probably revise it and probably do another funny video again. Wasabi Ninja, taxes are a contract. Demand proof of a validation of debt under Title 15 of the FDCPA. You are smarter than me. I can't even say that. Can't pay a debt unless with gold or silver. Article 1, Section 10. Yeah, gold and Congress is prohibited from having anything as legal tender other than gold or silver. I did a video on this a couple of years ago. I'll have to pull it up and maybe redo it. I also have to re-upload that one where we walked into that Walmart in Missouri and they gave us a hard time. I'll try to remember to do that, guys. Thanks, Wasabi Ninja. Yeah, good point. Taxes are a contract, and I don't consent, and you guys don't consent. Period. And so if we don't consent and they're still taking our money from us, that's called extortion because it's theft by the threat of force. Danny N. Away from his arms in the open field, a man should fare not afoot. Oh, this is a quote. All right, let me not slaughter this. This is from Harmel Vikings, the word of Odin, the High One. Away from his arms in the open field, a man should fare not afoot, for never he knows when the need for a spear shall arise on the distant road. Yep, that's true. And that's another way to put that is, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Thanks for the super chat. That's from Danny N. Thanks, Danny N. One more super chat. Again, Pale Rider Bear. I agree. It's a direct correlation. Also, got 3 of your flashlights, a few sturdy and high quality. And thanks for saying that, guys. Hold on a second. I want to show you something. I mean, people are like, "Oh, you're shilling. I really think this will benefit you. I really didn't plan on doing this, but since you brought up the flashlight, I think I charged this in the sun. I don't know how long ago. Look how bright it still is. And the thing I think is cool about this thing, we were talking about the Green New Deal and all that kind of stuff. You never need batteries for this. I'll drop the link. The link's gonna be in the description for these things. But the other cool thing is you can charge your freaking phone with this, and this will charge from 0 to 100 on I have a Galaxy S10 Plus. No problem. It charges it. It takes about an hour and a half for it to fully charge the phone, and then you still got juice left over for the flashlight. It's just a cool flashlight. You can use that for a hammer, seatbelt cutter. It's got this cool strobe thing. You can act like a cop, Hey, I'm pulling you over, ma'am. You violated something. I don't know what it is, but we need to increase the coffers of the state and we need to pull you over. It's just cool. It's super bright, super handy. If you ever need to charge it, I just throw it in I put it in my dashboard of my vehicle, so that when I'm out somewhere, it's just always freshly charged. I think it's either 500 or 800 lumens, but it's super dang bright, man. I'm just impressed with it. And I will never put a link to something that I don't personally use myself. I use Virtual Shield VPN. I have it on my phone right now. I got it on my computer. It's on my girlfriend's laptop. So if I present you with something, I've already done the R&D on it, and it's just something I'm sold on. I would say I eat these almonds that, they don't pay me to say anything about these almonds, but these wasabi almonds are cool. So whatever it is that I think will benefit you, grab a water bottle. I'm not selling these, but drink a gallon of water a day. Anyway, let's see if there's any more super chats. Thanks, Pale Rider Bear, and thanks for grabbing the shirts. There's like 80 designs in the store now. Okay, wait, there's more super chats. Eagle Eyes says Masonic and Eastern Star Agenda, MSM is nothing more. I agree. And what's interesting is I was in Murfreesboro, Tennessee about 2.5 weeks ago, and I didn't know until the last day that there was this gathering. It looked like this family of it was predominantly black people, and they were all wearing this weird garb. And I asked this one lady in the elevator, I said, "Wow, you guys here for a family reunion?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm the coordinator. Yeah, this is a family reunion." And there was a name on the shirt. Do you remember what was the name on those purple shirts, babe? Do you remember? There was a name. I think it actually said Mason, if I'm not mistaken. And then it clicked because I saw the guy with the apron in the hallway, and they were filling out stuff and people are signing up and stuff. It was Eastern Star, which is the female branch of Freemasonry. And if I'd have thought about it, if I'd have given some time to it, me and Trish could have done some interviews. That would have been cool. But yeah, Masonic and Eastern Star Agenda, MSM is nothing more. Yeah, that stuff runs deep, man. All these secret societies. So thanks for the super chat, Eagle Eyes. Drone Wolf Media, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. By the way, check out Drone Wolf Media. He's got some cool drone shots. If you do check out his channel and subscribe, tell him High Impact Flicks sent you. Gordy Gab 3R McKenzie says, "Thank you for the red pills." Hey, thank you for being here. It's really an honor to be here. The Fall of Home also says, "But remember Article 4, Section 2, the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states." Yeah, if they just went by their own laws, if they just went by the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, we would be way more free than we are. If they just obeyed their oath, if they just honored their oath, we would be way better off. So thank you, the Fall of Home. Rowdy Route says, "We own nothing. We rent from the government company." Think about it. Yeah, if you own a house, but you're paying property taxes, and the moment you stop paying the property taxes, they foreclose on your house. Did you really own that house? Nope, you didn't. We really don't. We're renting from the government, and they created this scenario. That's the scenario we live in. That's our reality. So let me refresh the page one more time on this. Snapturtle says, "What's good, Brian? We have to back down the anti-gunners." Yeah, and the way I want to do that with the anti-gunners is I want to educate them. I don't. It's funny to slam them, and it's funny to slam CNN, and I do it, and there's a place for that. But I really want to educate them by making them back down. I want them to back down and join our side. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about the Republican side or the Democrat side or any side but liberty. Just back human liberty, and that's it. That's the side I want them to be on. Anna Reyes says, "I got those flashlights. They're powerful and has several functions. Thanks for the recommendation." Hey, no problem. I really appreciate when you guys purchase those. You support the channel. I really appreciate it. Wasabi Ninja, this is the last one, says 10 maxims of commerce law is how the system works. 10 maxims of commerce law is how the systems work. I'll have to look into that. I'm really kind of ignorant on some of that stuff that you're bringing to me, Wasabi Ninja, so I'll have to brush up on it. Life is learning experience, right? Okay, so the takeaway of this video is that crime is not breaking a man-made law, and gun control laws literally are gun violence. because you're trying to control human beings and you're doing it by the barrel of a gun. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.